Right then, I've got a wild camp coming up, and I've had an axe which I bought, a dirt cheap one, which has needed modifying and doing, various things to it to get it to spec for me to use to wild camp. I'm going to do that today, and I'm going to take you along with that process. I did a review on it. It's further back in my back catalogue of videos, but as with everything, it's just got back shelved, put away, forgotten about. But I actually want to use it now, so I'm going to get these mods done, and it will appear in a wild camping video that I'm desperate for a wild camp actually. I got caught up with work and various other things, as you've seen, and yeah, I'm looking forward to my next wild camp, and I want to take this axe along and try it out. Well, I'm in the workshop and I actually have the hatchet or axe in my hand that we're going to modify. This is one of a multitude you can get in DIY stores or budget outlets. I didn't particularly need it or want it. I've got a plastic one I've been using. When I say plastic, I mean a plastic handled one. Very good, very nice, and it's been thoroughly abused and it's done the job. Just a wooden handled one, I just thought it would feel that little bit more the part. But I did a review, like I said, and it's in my back catalogue if you're interested in the dimensions and any of the features about it. But ultimately, I did find it was deficient in some things that I'm going to require for myself. That is firstly a lanyard hole, basically for safety reasons. I can have it around my wrist, so if you get any ricochets, bounce backs, skip outs or anything like that, and the vibration takes it out of your hand, it's attached to you. It's not going to fly off anywhere or back into your face. You shouldn't have that situation happen. You should be proficient, but we all know accidents happen. Secondly, the actual finish. It's got a garish yellow. But you could live with that. But it's the actual finish to the handle. It's got like a cheap, very light varnish, which is very slippery. You got wet hands. Let's face it, we're in the UK. You're going to have to deal with the wet stuff at some point. And it's just going to make using this just that little bit awkward. It's going to be slippy and slidey. So I'm going to take that off, put a little bit of stain just to give it that authentic old retro look, and then I'm going to boiled linseed finish it so it's got a waterproof protection. I'm not going to take the handle out. There's no need for me to do that. It's a budget less than £10 hatchet. Why would I want to do that? You've got 2 pins in there. It doesn't look like it's the best fitting in the world, but like I said, we've already discussed, it's a budget hatchet, but it's firm, it's solid. So I'm just going to clean that up, boiled linseed it again. And actually for the head, I'm going to get rid of the yellow like the handle. I'm going to take that off. But the issue we have with the head is, and it does state it's polished and hand ground, and I've already stated I'm not quite sure on the validity or how valid that statement is, but as you can see, this back edge here is square, believe it or not. It goes up and it goes flat along. It's got a flat top and it goes down. The back edge does have a little bit more of a surface or cutting edge to it, but it's pretty poor all the way round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind that off with a grinder. I'm not looking to take a lot of metal away. I'm just going to get it back to a point I can finish it off with a sharpening stone. If I didn't use the grinder and just did it with a sharpening stone, there's enough material that needs to come off here. I could potentially still be doing a video on sharpening this axe with a sharpening stone next week. So I do need to get something a little bit more aggressive on that. I'm not trying to turn this into a Viking inspired axe and I'm going to be cutting great chunks of the metal out. It's a budget axe. I've paid £10 or less than £10. I want to I want to use it as it is. You know, it looks fine and I want to keep it totally intact. It's just about making this a usable, workable, wild camping and bushcrafting hand axe or hatchet. I'm not looking to get it razor sharp to do crafting with it. Because of the way I use them, if I was to do that and have such a fine edge to that axe head, I'm more than likely going to be continually putting dings and dinks in it, because basically I'm a little bit rough with my tools. I actually use my tools there, you know, and I've got no you know, I'm not trying to turn this £10 axe into a £120, you know, Nordic or German equivalent of this size. I'm just getting this to a point it will suit me and I'll be able to use it for what it is. And hopefully it looked the part. And as we all know, if it looks the part, feels the part, it kind of makes the whole experience that little bit more sweeter. Right, I've just put a small hole, it's like a countersink hole, just to allow a drill bit bigger one to go through in the handle where I want it. So let's get on and do this. Right. We have a hole right the way through, as you can see, and that's going to be from a lanyard. This will all clean up when we sand it back, but that's the first step of what we're trying to do here. What I'm going to do now is get a sanding wheel put on my drill, and I'm going to start sanding all this back. Right then guys, we've got to a reasonable starting point now. I've got this actually stripped. I've actually polished it to a smoother finish than what was there before, and it actually feels quite nice. I've got the holes there for the lanyard, and I've just taken a bit of the sharp corners off to help it not split if it gets dropped on the end. The axe head has been polished up again. I mean, it did need a fair bit of work to actually get all this polished. You know, obviously, you know, you have to put a little bit of effort in if you want a result. If I'd put it on a polishing wheel, I could have got a better result. But I've done it by hand, and I'm quite happy. You know, as I keep saying, we're all on a budget here. Yeah. So next step really is to do something about this the cutting edge. And like I said, I've got to put a metal disc in my actual grinder, and I've got to gently get a start of a workable edge where I can then finish with a whetstone and get it to a point where I feel happy that it's going to be a reasonably good cutting edge for myself. But everything about this actual, you know, the actual cutting edge on it it just needs a lot of work. It's not even a proper actual semicircle there on the head. Now I've polished it, it shows up even more. You can probably see that it's just a total disaster zone all the way along there, really, you know. And I suppose that's what you get if you pay for a quality one. You would be getting all this with a bit more finesse, and obviously you wouldn't be going to this trouble. But yeah, let's make this happen. So you can see I've got a better edge already. I'm not going to do anything more with the grinder. I've taken off enough meat. From here on in, I can achieve what I want with the sharpening stone. The axe head itself has a better profile. It's not flat or flat spots within it, within the arch, and it's not squared off. So, you know, I'm just going to leave it at that. I did, as you saw, do a little bit of a sharpen with it. That's just to give me that initial feel-good factor, no other reason. I'll do the proper sharpen once I've completed, you know, finishing the handle. And that's what I'm on now. I'm just waiting for my wood burner to fire up. Then I'm just going to put my signature folklore on it. I'm not trying to fool anybody that, you know, I've made this, hand forged it or nothing. It's just my brand. I'm just putting on it and I'll use it within the videos. So that's all it is. But even at this stage, it's actually looking 1,000 times better. I have just taken it down to the wood pile and actually chopped into the wood, and it actually bites in very well, even with this, the first stage of the sharpening process done. So I'm more than happy. But yeah, I want to get this stain on. I want to get the oil on the handle drying. Tomorrow I'll be able to put the lanyard on. I'll sharpen it, and this will be put away till I do my wild camp, and then you guys will be able to see it in action. But yeah, for now, let's get on with this wood burning. Right then, I've finished burning my logo. Now it's to give this handle its finishing coats. I'm going to use a very, very, very light stain on it, and I'm talking very light. I just want it to give it that look of age, and, you know, it's been around the block, it's seen a bit of action. And I think a little bit of stain, just gently put onto where the actual divots are and on bits of the grain, will just give it that enhanced look of being used, and that kind of forest feel. Once that's dry, it's going to get a complete coat of boiled linseed. Yeah, and I think that will waterproof it, seal it, and that'll be job done. But yeah, let's get on with this part now. I'm using a sponge because I can just direct the amount. It just works better than an actual brush. Well, I've got a bit on there. I'm just going to put it on the table, get a bit of the wetness off. And let's just go around here. There. Just give it that feel of age. I'm not trying to stain it heavily. It's just to give it a slight bit of colour. This white or very cream coloured wood just really isn't floating it for me. Let's get it all up here. It's actually looking better already. You can obviously get stains which you could just basically put on, and that would be the actual coat in itself. But for me, I've invested a bit of effort into this now, so I kind of want to give it enough protection that it's going to basically see me out. The money I've spent on this might be of a small amount in reality, but I do want to make it last. I want it to go the distance. Right. Let this go. Yeah. Right. Now I'm going to get the excess off. So what we have here, the stain is taken that white creamy look away, and we've got like a kind of almost aged wood look, but the grain has picked up all the stain, which gives it that look of age, and it's been used, and it's what I was aiming for, and I think it looks absolutely outstanding. But from here we're now going to go and put the boiled linseed on. Well, here we are. It is now actually fully treated with the boiled linseed, and basically it's for me to allow this to dry. But I think this has come out absolutely stunning from what we had. I will probably give the axe head a little coat of oil when I put this out to dry, quite simply because it could be a bit damp out in the greenhouse while this is drying, and I don't want to come back to any surface rust just yet. It still feels new. But yeah, I think this has come out extremely well. I'm touching it a bit gingerly because obviously it's covered in boiled linseed, and I don't want to get that everywhere. But yeah, I'm going to put this out in the greenhouse now and get it drying. But I think you can safely say this is a marked improvement on what we actually had earlier. And I suppose the business end, the sharp cutting bit, you know, realistically, just what I've done there is, you know, a very, very big improvement on what it was straight from the manufacturer. Well, this is going to conclude this video, and I'm in the greenhouse. It could be echoey, but it'll stay here till it's dry. I'll put the lanyard on it and finish the sharpening, and the next time you see that, it'll be out on a wild camp with me, and we'll see how it performs. But I think you can agree that was worth the effort I put into it, and I now have an axe that I should be able to, you know, make last and see me out. I'm not heavy. I use tools, but I'm not overly heavy. I don't go out to deliberately, test them to destruction. So, there's no reason why this can't see me out. But yeah, this is Andy from Hidden Valley Footpaths. Take care, and I hope to see you out on a trail, but probably a wild camp.